everyone. Welcome to Silver Tears Tarot. It is awesome to have you here. And so I really didn't expect to be back so soon, but I was shuffling around in the cards in this deck. So this is the Mystic Mondays deck. And I got the feeling like I should turn the camera on. Like there was a story that wanted to come out, and it's not mine. It's something that you guys need to see. So if you're seeing this, that turned out to be the right call. So I guess here we go. And of course, I always have to mention this is a general reading that I'm doing for the collective, so it may not resonate with everyone, but hopefully it does with you. So, with this being such a new channel, I expect there to not be a ton of viewers out there. So, if you are one of the people who found it, then this may be a message that you need to hear. There may be something in here that you need to hear. So, hopefully, it does resonate with you, and we get you. Some clarity and a better view of something that's going on in your life today. So again, just feeling around in the energy, I noticed there's a story that wanted to be told, and I want to use that same spread that I used in the last reading. I like that one because I can just put the first card down and kind of find out the reason for the reading. So that's the first thing I want to ask. What's the reason for this? What is causing us to have a reading together today? On a day that I did not intend to put out a reading. What is going on today that was super important for us to all hear about and talk about? What do we want to look at today? What's the big idea? Okay, let's see. That is a single card. Okay, no, it is not the single card. Sorry, it's two. When two cards come out, I don't pick them both up unless they come out in... if they turn themselves over, then I'll take the top one. Unless I feel guided to take more than that. And this time, it just threw two cards at me. So we are going to do the King of Swords and the Knight of Swords, both in reverse. All right. And so this King of Swords is really about, this King of Swords it's about looking at the big picture. And so the King of Swords, one of the cool things that the King of Swords can do, and one of those big talents that he has, and of course there's no gender in tarot, it's a king, so I'm referring to him as him, but he has the ability to look at the big picture of a situation. And so here, somebody is not looking at the big picture of a situation. And it's causing them to go into themselves and not do some of the flamboyant actions that they might be willing to do. There is not a decisive movement forward. In fact, it's causing them to kind of hide, go into the shadows, maybe do a little bit of seeking you out. This is starting to feel like, okay, so I'm just going to be honest. What I was feeling when I was looking through the cards was this is a person maybe who is not being forthcoming, and what I see here is almost a reason for it. So this person is not being forthcoming, and instead they're kind of hanging out in the shadows watching you, but it's because for some reason they've chosen not to look at the big situation, and we'll get into that when we clarify. But first, let's see, like, what's the setting for this? Okay, we've got the Chariot, so something is moving forward, something in one of your lives is moving forward, but this is the sort of movement forward that, like, it doesn't happen to you. It's movement that you do. So we'll get a little bit more clarity on that one, but I think it's that movement that's maybe causing the discomfort over here, because I do feel some discomfort over there. All right, so things are starting to move with them. What else? What sticks out? The star. Oh, okay. So in this case, the star is, and I say in this case because the star can mean so many things, but or it has multiple meanings. And in this case, it's really about a divine, it's something divine here. It could be a divine partnership, could be a soul tie, not something that I would use loosely, but I think that may be what you're looking here. So, or what you're looking at. So this may be, this is kind of the what is spirit bursting to tell us about this situation. And this is now starting to feel more like an awakening, and you have a divine situation. All right, what else can you tell us? Okay, Queen of Swords in reverse. Well, one of those need to be upright. King or Queen of Swords, so that somebody can lead the way. But basically, this Queen of Swords is... sometimes she's defensive, sometimes she's illogical, in the reverse. Sometimes it really depends kind of on the situation, but based on what I'm seeing here, it's like instability. Somebody, it's like what I was saying a minute ago. One of these needed to be upright so that you could lead the other one out of it. So this appears to be a relationship, and it's difficult to say if it's like a love relationship or a family relationship or something, but we needed somebody to, in order to be successful in what appears to be a divine relationship, somebody needed to be able to look at the big picture, see things logically. You're we know that you don't want to use your head for places where decisions should be made with your heart, but there's more to that here. This is a situation where neither is really looking at the big picture or what could come next. So I guess, what else does Spirit want you to know about that? And here I'm looking for like hidden energies. 10 of Cups. All right, so there is a lot of happiness here, but it's almost kind of um, it almost feels like it's not real kind of happiness. It is just so positive. And I have the feeling that it's like once you make the change that you're trying to work on now, because I'm starting to feel like this is you and your awakening. And notice how the color here is completely different from what we have with the rest of these cards so far. That awakening is going to help to bring you to something that's halcyon happy, but not necessarily not real. I mean, it is real. It just doesn't necessarily feel real. So let's see what's coming your way. What is likely to happen for you? We've got an awakening. We've got a situation with another person. Neither of you is really able to look at the big picture. So what's coming up next? That was multiple cards. Let's see what's coming up for you next. Okay. So we have Justice in the reverse. And this is really... so as the two of you, no one's in a position to lead the other one. We have a situation where things don't necessarily work out the way that you want to, but I don't get the sense that this is like an end result. This is just the next thing that happens. So I want to clarify, and I'm going to clarify with the Tarot of the Spirit. This is great card deck for clarifying, or really even just putting those first thoughts out there. So let's look at, and I want to look at the King of Swords and the Knight of Swords separately. Okay, so, this came out in the Mystic Mondays deck. This is the Father of Water, which is the King of Cups, in reverse. And it came out in the other deck when I was looking through it. So it's the King of Cups in reverse. And this is a king who does not... He very much values emotional stability and looking like he's got it all together. He really values that. But here he doesn't have it. He's not emotionally stable. This King of Swords, this person, which again, male or female, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what their sex is, or their gender. But they're not looking at the big picture because they're feeling some mental instability, or not mental, emotional instability as a result of the situation that you two are in. So what else about that? All right, let's see. The Hierophant in reverse. And this one, this is about, this is why there's not an upright King or Queen of Swords. So this person seeks guidance. They are looking for guidance, and I don't think they're coming to you for it because they've sort of backed off into the shadows and they're hiding from you. Let's look into that. So they need some guidance. That's part of why we're not seeing them, stand up and take charge of their own situation. Instead, they've shrunk back into the shadows and they're watching you. Like you're what's on their mind. Tell us more about that. What is going on with this hiding? All right, so we want both of these. We're going to take this, which is the 10 of Cups. So they're sensing that happiness that you can bring them. And the Brother of Wind is, it's the Knight of Swords in the upright. Okay, so that is a decisive forward movement. And okay, so I'm just going to read the energy around this. Basically, you've got a person who is not looking at the big picture, sort of putting their head in the sand like an ostrich a little bit. And it's because they have, for some reason, figured out that their situation causes them emotional instability. They don't have the guidance or leadership that they want, and so they feel like they want to shrink away from it. They're hiding, they're still looking at you. You're a central focal point in their life, so that's kind of interesting. They sense incredible happiness, which is what's on the other side of your awakening. They could be going through an awakening themselves, especially if there is a divine partnership here, because in a lot of cases, the divine partnerships require awakening for both sides. And here we see them really wanting to take that decisive action that would help to turn their Knight of Swords back upright, because that's where they feel the best. They feel the best where they can take that action. But right now they're hiding. They're feeling like they're hiding. I would like another card. I know they're hiding because they see this, but I don't understand why seeing something beautiful makes you hide. So why are you hiding? Because you saw something beautiful in somebody. Let's see here. You saw something beautiful in somebody. So you hid and just stared at them from over there. Okay. On this Six of Wind, that's like a Six of Swords. And a lot of times, the Six of Swords kind of feels like you've come through something very difficult. They are coming through something very difficult. And that is how their Knight of Swords is going to get turned back upright, where you see the Brother of Wind. That's the upright Knight of Swords. But they've got to work through whatever this is. So I don't know if it's an awakening or just some lessons that they've got to learn, but that's got to happen. Let's take a closer look at your lessons and your awakening that you have going on here. All right, we got one that turned over, and it's the Hanged Man. So this Hanged Man is about new perspective. Hanged Man isn't always new perspective, but in this case it absolutely is. And this is part of what's going to help you with your awakening. So you've seen something, and remember, this is you. You're still in the reverse, not looking at the big picture either. But something is changing for you. It's like... So this is interesting. This Chariot is upright, but I have the feeling of a Chariot that is in the reverse, where maybe you've just been. And the Chariot in the reverse, I'm getting like this visual of wagon wheels stuck in the mud. Like the mud has dried around these wagon wheels, and it can't move, and everything is just kind of awful. But you're coming out of it. So you may still not be seeing the big picture here, but you are coming out of it. You're having an awakening, and you have a new perspective that is either here or headed your way. Okay, but this is that thinking cave that you've been spending your time in. So if you've had to sort of walk away a little bit, not necessarily walk away, I don't mean leave the situation, but if you've had to take a step back and just kind of, whoa, what's going on there? That's how you get that new perspective. So this is part of your emotional growth. Definitely a good thing. I would just say keep looking, keep doing the meditations, because you've got a divinely guided situation that's going on here. Let's learn a little bit more about that one. So you've got a divinely guided situation, and you've already started working on it. So Seven of Earth is like the Seven of Pentacles, okay? And in this case, it feels like you have put in the work, and now you're just waiting to harvest the fruits of your labors. So you're not harvesting them yet, but you're watching them come through. And so we've got the Two of Water in reverse. This is the Two of Cups in reverse. So it's a partnership that is a divine partnership. You've already put in the work to establish that partnership, but it's not especially going very well. And in fact, it may be the sort of partnership that is here specifically to teach you, a lesson. So, all right, that feels right. I feel like you are here to learn a lesson with this partnership. So it's okay if things aren't necessarily going well, because that's how you learn. Let's take a look at you. So you're this Queen of Swords that's in reverse here. corresponding with this King of Swords, also in reverse. And remember, this King of Swords is suffering from sort of an ego issue. There is this experience of, I don't have the emotional stability that I want to have, and I don't like the way that looks, but I don't have good guidance, so I've gone and hidden myself. And so here's the Queen of Swords on the other side, who maybe is starting to work on this is a person almost at the beginning. You are a person almost at the beginning of a big new learning. And so you haven't even completely opened yourself up to it yet. Let's see what we've got here. So you've got a choice. That's like the Two of Swords. You've got a choice that you're going to be presented with if you haven't already. Okay, and the Mother of Earth, so that's the Queen of Pentacles. This is self-worth. This is self-worth. So, okay, you're going to be presented with a choice which is almost going to feel a little bit like a test, but it's a pre-test because you're going to get tested on something you've never really been taught on. And so it's like at the beginning of the semester when the teacher gives you, a test that to just understand what it is that you've learned or what you already know. That's kind of what this decision looks like. So it isn't that it isn't important and that you don't want to do well, but what's going to come out of it is you are scared to look at the big picture yourself, maybe don't quite know how to look at the big picture. And there's definitely this sense of the Mother of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And in this case, that is a self-worth question. So the Queen of Pentacles in reverse is not in her full potential just yet. She has some things to work through. And so you may be that Queen of Pentacles too. But honestly, when she's in the upright, she's like one of my favorite queens. In fact, she is my favorite queen in the deck. It's the one that I would most want to identify with. And she is nurturing, she's full, she's whole, she's got incredible self-worth. She knows, why she's here and what she's there to do. She's very confident, but not in a cocky sort of way. So here, it isn't like you're experiencing the opposite of all that. It's specifically that self-worth piece. This person up here or this situation up here you've taken a hit to your self-worth as a result of it. So looking at this, so this is the hidden energy. This is what you might not be able to see. And this was the Ten of Cups. So this was extreme happiness, but happiness that is real, but almost doesn't even look real. So let's look a little bit more into that and just kind of understand what this is. What is this happiness that looks real, but might not even really be unreal? It looks unreal, but it might not be. Looks like it in a mirage or a fantasy, that sort of thing. But when you get there, it's actually there. Okay, we have the Sister of Water, which is like the Page of Cups. And so this is, it's like that feeling that you'd have when you come up on the situation and wonder if this is real. This is childlike curiosity, but it's not all about the curiosity. The curiosity is there. Let's see what else wants to come out for that. That's kind of interesting. It's like you're going to figure out this isn't a mirage before you get to it. What have we got there? The Strength card. Okay, so the Strength card I mentioned in a previous reading never happens in a vacuum. There's always something that you have to be strong about. I'm going to move these up so you can see them a little bit better. But yeah, there's always something that you have to be strong about when the Strength card comes up. And so as you walk up on this thing, as you get closer to it and realize this isn't a mirage, you're going to get that same sort of fear that this person has felt. Wait, I don't know enough. I'm not sure if I'm ready for this. You are ready for this, and you're going to want to rely on your inner child to allow that to happen, because that's where the true curiosity comes from, and the part of you that, wasn't scarred yet, wasn't afraid or suspicious of something that looks like it might not be real. But there's a ways to go. And we saw that because the next step that was going to come out was going to be an injustice or things not really being right. Let's understand a little bit more what's happening with the Justice card in the reverse. So, oh, we're keeping both of these. All right, so we've got the High Priestess in reverse and we've got the Five of Swords in reverse. Sometimes they come out in just such a way I can I can practically see them like they're shining up to me. Here's the ones that I want you to take. So this is really going to be about you're learning, right? You're learning. You're getting better. You are having your awakening. You're starting to move through the efforts that you need to. We need to take a closer look maybe in the extended as to what your awakening actually entails and what you're going to be asked to do. Maybe even take a closer look at what's happening with this person over here who isn't partnering with you and is instead hiding from you and watching you from a distance, but that is very likely a divine partnership in some way. So the next step, though, is something that is a next step in the process, but not a final step. And so it's somebody not following their intuition. It's coming up against that wall. Like you're learning, and you reach for something, can't quite reach it, but you're not that concerned about it. So you at this point are in the learning process. You got to peel the onion kind of one layer at a time. And maybe it's just you don't see the guidance that you want because, and that's almost how it feels, because this is really about you being okay with not having success there. Um, okay, so that's really just, that's amazing. That's a next step in healing, and it's not getting you healed all the way, but you're okay with it. So let me pull you, I want to pull you an oracle card just for a little bit of advice too. And this one says, you deserve good things. Keep your focus on what you want. So that's excellent for this reading. You deserve good things. Keep your focus on what you want, because here we see that it might be a little bit tough to accomplish that in the immediate sense. You know, you've got some things that are coming up that, it's not the end. It's not you solving everything. It's the next step in you solving things. And you need to recognize from that self-worth perspective that you do deserve the best. You really do. And so keep focusing on what you want. And maybe let me just see if there's another message from Spirit, because I think okay, so this one is about change. Yeah. This part here where you get to a place where you reach for it and something doesn't quite work out, but you're okay with it. That is going to cause a change in you. It's that change of really being okay with it and realizing sometimes change is just going to take a while. Let's get a clarifier card for that as well. So change is going to take a while, but you recognize a need for it. That is an incredibly healthy perspective. Let's see if there's any more about that change. Why is the... Oh, okay. So the Star card comes out, and I'm being told to stop shuffling. So the Star card comes out to clarify the Death card, and so this change is really... It's about you, one of you or both of you is going to recognize the divine nature of this partnership on a different level. So maybe you already know, but you're going to see it on a different level. So this is kind of wild. You've got a person over here who isn't looking at the big picture because they've been maybe put off by fear and feeling like they don't have, the right guidance or leadership. And as a result, they've kind of hidden, retracted into the shadows. They're watching you, and they can detect that there's something really incredible that would happen in the future. But you're really kind of too early on for them to be able to come out and do a decisive action and get to the other side. They're still in choppy water. So if this Six of Wind, which is like the Six of Swords, represents coming through the other end of choppy waters, this person is very much still in it. And you are beginning to come out. So you're actually you're gaining a new perspective. You're going away into your thinking cave to gain a new perspective. And it is about something, the thing that's jogged this, that's caused this, is really a divine situation that you've already put some work into, but you haven't got everything accomplished there yet. Like, you still have a ways to go. And you are also, paired up nicely with this King of Swords, not completely able to look at the big picture. You've got a decision coming to you that's going to be like a pretest. So maybe we'll learn a little bit more about this situation for you in the extended as well. So, what's happening with your person, what's happening with you and this pre-test, and what you have to learn, because you have some incredible, beautiful things coming your way, but not right away. So, let's take a look at that. When you come through and you learn this next thing, and the change happens, and you're okay with it, and you recognize on a deeper level that you've got a divine partnership here. So, wow, this is actually pretty cool. I'm glad I turned on the camera today. If this one resonated with you, then I will hope to see you in the extended, where we can, check on some of these things that we talked about. But generally, I would just say, keep going. If this is you, keep going. You have really started, this is still the only card this color in here. You've really started an awesome new awakening. It's going to be a little bit choppy for a while, but you're going to come through it, and it's going to be completely worth it. Just keep in mind that you do deserve good things, and, keep working on that self-worth piece for yourself. And so I think that's it for this reading. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to the extended. So I would just say, if you are so inclined, please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.